Hi guys, welcome to Mark Byers YouTube channel. This is a great day to share with you a wonderful soul. In Spain, we call them buen persona. It means more than a good person. The Spanish believe that when somebody calls you a buen persona, it means that you're good inside and out. So that's how I see this dear and amazing guy. Welcome, Edgar. Hi, Edgar.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
So you all wanted to know who Edgar was after listening to the 5-hour Bamboo Fute music. Edgar's here. He is the guy who basically spent days preparing it. We actually did pretty well because it was only a couple of takes, and then you set out on your journey to be able to create it. One thing everybody's asking, the bamboo flute that I used to play, it seems to be higher bamboo than the bass. It's a constant it's like a kind of bassy, and it's a lot louder than the other. Was there any other reason why you wanted a higher pitch or a higher vibration? And is there something in that you feel is more healing, or was it just work that way?
Yeah, as far as healing, I don't really have that much experience with it. I just go from a feeling.
That's not true. I have to disagree. I think you do have a great understanding of vibration, because you play music. You can't play music if you don't understand it, and that is the vibration. For me, is energy. And that's healing. So when you listen to sound, when you're creating it, you're not listening because it sounds good, it feels right, no?
Yes. I am sensitive in the sense, like I tend to go out in nature a lot on my own. If I feel bad or something, I go there, I end up feeling better. I never feel like I am alone when I'm in nature.
You know how difficult that is for most people to do?
Yeah, there's not many people that do it.
Yeah, you do it naturally.
I love it and I need it.
Exactly.
But, so I am, I guess, in a way sensitive like that. But then when I make music, I just make music, and I'm just trying to create a feeling or that could have a healing effect for someone or people.
So but that's exactly what I'm saying then.
But but it's not like I know that this is healing or something. I'm just going for a certain vibe, a certain...
Okay, so I would disagree and say that's exactly what healing is. Because you're going for a certain vibe, which is called vibration. Mm-hmm. So that vibration is you're in tune with vibration. You're in tune with what feels right, which means that you are a healer. You're a healer of music. So tell everybody, how did you start your music? When did it actually come into your life? When did you feel music?
I think actually since I was very young, but I wasn't that aware of it. When I was young, I wanted to have drumming classes.
Drumming?
But my parents were like,
we've heard that story before.
So they put me on piano classes, which in the end was a blessing, because that opened me up to harmony, melody, and I did that for 3 years, from the age of 8.
What was that? That was
piano, like classical,
three years.
Classical piano. Wow. And then I got bored of it because it was like homework, and then I hadn't done the homework. Right. So then eventually it stopped. But then over time, I liked making up my own little melodies.
Right.
And
what from the piano or from other things, or?
Yeah, on the piano, just trying to come up with my own little doodles.
So without even asking your teacher, without that, you just felt you wanted to explore the music more.
Yeah, and actually, if I remember when I was really young, I used to record. Like, unfortunately, I deleted them all because when I got older, I was embarrassed. I recorded all these tapes where I made my own radio show with little sound effects and everything. I know. But around that time as well, like maybe 7 or something.
7. And I mean, you're so young now. I mean, you've got an amazing life ahead of you. So after that, after the piano, did you introduce any other instruments into your life?
Over time, I started DJing. Wow. I did that for a while. I really liked that, and then after I did that, I was like more convinced that I want to make my own music.
Beautiful.
The computer got involved, so mainly it was a keyboard and a computer, and there I would record my bits.
Beautiful.
Use lots of like virtual instruments. There were instruments that were recorded beforehand. When I really started to, for example, flutes, when they came in, was when I started to do live shows with a technique called live looping, where you record something on the spot.
Wow.
And you build up on it.
Wow.
And then as I had a lot of equipment to take with me, I was like anything fun to record was like added something to the show. So then I was like, what can I take? What's portable? And then flutes were like a very obvious choice. And I actually had some flutes, like a recorder flute laying at home, and I never touched it because I had the idea that, I don't know, from the way you played in school and stuff.
I get it. I'm the same. That's yeah. I'm not into instruments, but like it's the last thing you'd want. Oh my God, not the recorder.
Yeah, but then as it was portable, I started messing around with it, and I couldn't really even play it. But if you're recording also on a computer or that technique I use live, with little bits you can do a lot, even just 3 notes.
Really?
End up adding to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So then I found out that the recorder could actually make it even sound like a Japanese flute and things like that.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's when flutes came in.
So you self-taught yourself with flutes?
Yeah. I self-taught myself.
Did you actually play this flute music?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you self-taught?
Yeah.
That's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. It really, I mean, for me, it's like I just don't have that gift. I don't have that talent, and so I give up straight away. Because and I think most of us have that. When we see something that we don't think we can master, we give up. It's so easy to give up, and that's with all walks of life. We normally want something to stop us, so then we can make the excuse in not doing it. However, you just did it. So was it more of a natural flow just to do it without saying, I am going to learn this? Or did you just kind of get into it? Was it more organic?
It depends. For example, to learn how to record music properly with a computer and create all kinds of different styles, it was a decision, and I had to do lots of research on the internet and like kind of do my own studies.
Self-research, self-study. It's brilliant, Edgar.
But then the flutes, for example, was organic because I got them because they were portable.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really play them. I could do like 2-3 notes or some cool effect or something. But then as I kept using it with the shows and the years went on, I slowly got better and better at the flute. And then at some point realized like, yeah, I can kind of play flute.
Well, listen to, I mean, it's just, that's... it's a credit to you, Edgar, and that's really interesting how you've explained it to us. So the fact that you've self-taught is basically shows a genius, and you're a genius. So be proud of that. And I wanted to share with all my friends on social media, on YouTube. I wanted to share you because I think people who are genuine, people who really have put the effort in and time in, for some reason, strange reason, over the past years, never seem to get a look in. It's only people who are, taken from somewhere and created as not really being genuinely organic, like as a child. It's very rare that you normally find somebody, a bit like Take That, really. The group was taken from everywhere as good looking. They didn't, only maybe 1 or 2 could sing, but the others kind of could sing, and I used to dance with them as well, believe it or not. I used to be on the stage with them on a TV show before they became famous. And they were good dancers, couldn't sing so well, but looked good looking, and somebody brought them all together and created them. And that's kind of like how fame in the public eye is seen. Whereas the real true ones, like you, I've got to say, never seem to get that recognition. So I wanted to bring you on the show, Edgar, so people could get to know you. I came to you with an idea. That idea was always in my heart. I always wanted to have my own piece of music, not because of YouTube, but I always needed my own piece of music. I didn't know who to go to, and all the people who I ever went to, there was so much ego. I'm sorry to say it, but they were so aggressive over who they were and what they did that they talked themselves out of actually becoming who they could be. You were open enough to say, you know what, Mark, yes, I'll make you some music, and then you use it, do what you want. and that actually gives you more credibility, because people are going to want to know who you are. People are going to want to come to you, and I think from hopefully this video, people are going to say, you know what, I think I want my own piece of music. And they may now knock on your door and say, Edgar, can you help? And I'm sure you'll help them create their own music. So I'm here to ask you, the second piece of music, because I'm on a roll now, the second piece of music that I've got in my head is the fact that when I used to go around all the houses and pubs, clubs, churches, I used to be asked to try and help heal the energy in those places. And I tried a multitude of music. This music wouldn't work. This music would only work if I was in there doing my work as me. But if I wanted a piece of music that I would play and just leave the building and let that keep playing, would it have an effect on clearing bad energy? Now, you might not believe this, but I believe in life after death. I believe that sometimes that certain spirit, as we are, before we get into the light, we can be trapped. And when we're trapped in between two worlds, people can sometimes see them, sometimes can feel them, sometimes things can start breaking for no reason. Things can happen in a house that you think, this is weird, something's not right. Well, over the years, I realized that there is something called trapped spirit. They're in between two worlds, and they can cause an energy effect in the house. I used to try, like a scientist, figure out what sound, because sound is energy heals.
Yes.
So, and you probably know as a physical person that if you direct a piece of music or a sound or a vibration towards the body, each part of your body internally, everywhere, has a vibration. So if you can get that sound to the brain or to the heart, if you can get that vibration, it can heal the heart or strengthen it or clear negative energy from certain places. I realized that with music and with spirit. And I realized that very soon the music I was needing was a certain vibration of a voice. And funnily enough, the male voice, not the child voice or the female voice, it was the male voice that would go high and low, would make a massive difference. So I'd like to come to you and ask you, would you be willing to help me create my very own CD that I can give to all my friends, that if they ever feel that something's weird in the house, that we can send it to them and they can clear that energy out by simply playing it. Would you be prepared to do that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's brilliant. So I wanted to get you on here. The music's been playing in the background. It's been ever so successful. And I've meditated to it now, I think, to be honest, 3 times on the night, fully, with my crystals. They make a massive difference to me. They make a massive difference to my crystals. So I know it works. I've had messages, I know I'm talking a lot, but I have had a lot of messages from people saying not only did they sleep through it, but for the first time in 5 years they had a good night's sleep as that was playing. So I think you probably have no idea what you've created, but I think within the next 5 years this should reach 1 million to 2 million views, because it's amazing. So you've done a great job. And I think there's a lot of people have already asked me, would Edgar be willing to do me a piece of music? Would he be able to help me? And I think not only would that be great for you, but it would be amazing for everybody else. So is that cool? Does that sound all right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
sounds great.
So that's it really then, Edgar. I wanted to introduce you to everybody. I'm going to put a link below this of Edgar, how to get hold of him and some of his music. Just so you know, Edgar, there's a few DJs that I listen to now as a really young lad who's playing a lot of amazing music on it's on YouTube, and I think it's something like The Sound You Like or something like that. But he's got a studio, right? And in his studio he starts playing a beat, and then he goes to another piece of music and then starts playing another beat, and he loops it and he keeps looping it. And then he brings in singers, and it's beautiful. And there's another guy called the Polish Ambassador. Have you heard of him?
No.
Again, he's crazy. He's a crazy guy, but he plays and he takes different music and he mixes it, and it's kind of happy beat music. And there's also another CD that I really love and a group that I really love that I want to introduce you to. And one of the songs is called Sweet Lullaby, and it's by a group called Deep Forest.
Oh, that's old, no?
It's old.
I grew up listening to that.
Exactly, but it's that kind of music that I see within your music as well. And if anybody's never heard of Deep Forest, click on and listen to the music. It's a fascinating music, which is like it's got an African, earthly, beautiful sound, but the singers are just incredible. The blend of the two, it just blew me away. And I was 22 years old, I think, when I first heard it. My brother, actually, Ricky, brought me into this music, and it blew my world away. And I think from that moment on, the feeling that I got from that particular CD, it healed me. And I was going through my first divorce, and I was listening to that music, and it healed me. I actually listened to Randy Crawford. That actually made me feel even more miserable. But I loved it, because sometimes we like to be in the depression and feel that sadness. But Sweet Lullaby and all the other records that they put on this CD was incredible. Is there anything that you want to achieve in your lifetime? Any dreams?
Any dreams? I guess to just be able to stay healthy, feel happy, have a space where I can live without anyone bothering me. I like my privacy. Have my studio, be able to afford the tools that I need to grow and create better music.
Is that what you want to do? If you had a dream in your life, would it be music for the rest of your life? Because you're a teacher as well. You teach kids now as well, or you help kids with music. And have you got no? Okay, I thought
I have done little workshops and stuff here. I've done with some people here in Malaga. We've done shows in parks with dancing. I do live music.
Well, that's what I'm on about.
The kids. Yeah, but it's not like they're like little side things. It's not like my.
Well, it's still beautiful.
Project, yeah, it's nice.
You don't take much credit for yourself, do you, mate? I think it's beautiful that you don't. But you're making a difference in the world for the children and for all that you do. So. It's great, it really is. I mean, you're a credit to this world, and you're certainly helping raise the vibration that we need at this moment.
Actually, like these things you just asked me about a dream, these are my direct, like how I picture myself living comfortably. But really, if you ask me, like a dream is that we sort out this chaos and tension that we got going on.
Where?
Everywhere in the world, that
is the world a madhouse?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you and me are sitting here comfortable, warm on the roof, it's only possible because other countries are almost slave camps. People work for nothing or for hardly anything.
The coffee that you drink, the chocolate that you eat.
The camera that's filming us, it's affordable because slaves make it. Not like, so all these things.
How do you eliminate that in this world? What do you do to eliminate that? I mean, do we have to dismantle everything and start again, Edgar?
I'd say that's part of it. I think the most important thing, I think that's also the reason before you mentioned like how genuine artists do not tend to get attention, but the people that are like made by teams and stuff do. The big difference there is that the people that are made, they're not really bringing their own truth forward. They're just bringing a product forward that suits the trend.
At the end of the day, Edgar, you've got somebody who is at a place in their makeshift home. They've got nothing, and they see an opportunity to work and give them more than what they have, what they've got. So they're going to take it. They're not going to think, I'm not going to take that because it's slave labor. They're out to survive. And for me, it's not the people, it's the people who are doing it that need to be brought to justice, that need to be in line.
But the power that they have is there because everyone's for sale.
Everyone's for sale.
It's easy for me to talk because I haven't had the offer yet or something of millions or something. But I think also with industry and stuff, like everyone has their own responsibility for the art or the product they create. It does it, and then they have to ask the question: does it contribute? Does it contaminate? Does it hurt anyone? And all those things always get pushed aside because they get paid because there's a financial reward.
There is, and do you know what, Edgar? No matter what walk of life you look at, or where you see the progression, I think it's actually not, but the progression that society is pushing. You just need to look at any simple thing, like you go into a supermarket, you go into Aki or IKEA. People are going to the machines where basically you can scan and pay for it and just walk out, right? People have created that. It was their choice. They could even keep going to the cashier, or they go and take the simple step where they do it themselves. So I think it's up to us whether we choose to do that or go to the cashier. And if nobody uses that, then nobody will lose a job, if you see what I mean. So we contaminate, people contaminate. And that's what you're saying. Whatever we do, however we do it, whatever we buy, whatever we see, and whatever we choose to do, we should ask ourselves: is this causing more of an issue to the world, or is it actually helping? Right? Well, the food that you buy, do you go to your local supermarket and promote the big organisations that are doing all what you're saying, or do you go to your local market where Maria, who's behind the counter, you give her your money and she feeds her children, looks after her children, so you're contributing towards the village? Is that what you're kind of saying, or are you saying something else?
I think that's part of it. In my opinion, it's more down to the people that make the decisions, whether let's create this product. It contaminates a lot, but it's affordable, so let's do it. I think it's more those people that need to change it than the people that get bombarded by advertising and then buy the products. And then they say like, well, you shouldn't support them, you shouldn't buy them, but millions are invested in brainwashing them, and then often to make the more responsible choice, it's also expensive. To go and support Maria in like you said, in a shop, is really nice, but it might cost double the price, which can be difficult for people to do.
Right.
So I think it's more down to like.
So you're saying that it's one guy that we need to change his thought process from power and money and profit to actually no power, no profit, but simply making a difference in the world and helping everybody equally.
Yeah, well, there's more than one guy.
Exactly, yeah. So the one guy, there's a group of people who have invested billions, millions. You have to convince them to change and not put millions or billions into it to create this with profit, but from making a difference in the world. Do you think that's possible?
I don't. The ones that are in charge, I don't think that we can change their mind.
This is where I'm coming to. So what do we do? Because I say the only way it's going to work is to dismantle this kind of world of corporations, and we change the world somehow in an ethical and responsible way, which none of these people are interested in whatsoever. They don't care. They've got no heart. They're a lot of them are psychopaths. They just seriously don't care. So, again, I think what you're saying in general is, even if you take a responsible decision to buy certain things because of ethics and all that, it's still not going to make a difference, because in general most people are looking at the pennies and they're trying to buy what they can, and they can only afford what they can afford. And in general, if things are cheaper, it's normally because of the slave labor, right? You see where I'm coming from?
It's all very interwoven and very difficult. But like another example, I think for me is recycling. I think it's a scam.
You have no idea how big a scam it is.
Well, I think I do, but
really.
But like most people think like, oh, we have to do our part. But it's these companies, they can create whatever they want, crazy packaging. We never ask for it. I don't know anyone that would complain if that packaging was just plain brown or something.
It's like it used to be.
So it's all shiny, but it convinces us to buy it.
Yeah.
Then we buy it, and then we have to be responsible and separate it all. I heard that in some countries you even have to clean it.
Yeah.
and then put it in the recycling bin. Then they go, oh, thank you very much, and they end up selling it, making profit of it again, and in the whole process, entire countries get turned into the world's garbage belt. Then you recycle it, okay, but then what have you got? Something that will end up in the bin again, and eventually it will end up in nature or somewhere. So plastic, in my opinion, should just be banned.
Right.
And if it has to be used, use it very careful with a lot of respect, because it's crazy how much it contaminates.
So there's a lot of, I mean, your era, your generation now, are finding. Have you always felt like that? Have you always felt this kind of, being sad, or you only just started seeing it a few years? When did you become awakened to all of this stuff?
Well, my mum always helped me to stay in touch with nature.
Brilliant.
Like as a kid, I was like playing swords, hitting branches, and she's like, don't hit the tree, and she explained that. Brilliant. So that helped me a lot.
That's so nice.
But then I think around 2012, before that, a Mayan elder came here in Fuengirola.
Beautiful.
And he talked about the Mayan calendar, and then I found that very interesting. And then from then on, I started to pay more attention to the news, and because I've never been into politics, I'm still not into politics.
No.
But I was just more curious, like what's going on in the world, and and since then it's just been. My dad, he helped me a lot. He told me a lot of things that really was like, oh, okay. Amazing. Like how false everything really is. And
exactly, how false everything is. It's a madhouse out there. It really is a madhouse. And it's getting worse. People are becoming more addicted to drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, and it's affecting them mentally on a mental level. And we're seeing the change in people. Vaccines are given at a young age, changing the whole humanity, changing the gene, changing everything. So we don't even know whether we're whatever we are. We're struggling to even. You can see it in children. They don't know who they are. Depression is bad. Suicide rate is getting worse with kids. It's like all children are feeling depressed. They're watching the TV, seeing all the Kardashians, and they're just being directed to buy
and to be disconnected
to the whole of humanity, to be disconnected to our brothers and sisters, and to be disconnected. Well, I mean, the disconnection to me is that, I want more than she has, and now you've seen my handbag, I want a new handbag, or I want a fancy car, but nobody's actually, going into nature, like you said. Nobody's getting connected again. So we can see that, and I'm glad you can see it as well. I'm glad I can see how passionate about that, which is a beautiful thing. Through your music, finally, just finished, through your music, do you feel that makes a difference in the world?
I think so, especially in my other work where I rap and I use very strong lyrics.
Brilliant. I've listened to them. Actually quite spiritual, did you know?
Yeah.
They are.
It's part of who I am, I guess, yeah.
It is. It's beautiful. I don't think we need to say we're spiritual, we just do what we do, and I think spirituality comes out in who you are and your everyday walk of life. I've met a lot of people who claim to be spiritual. I've never heard you once say the word spiritual in your life, but I think you're probably one of the most spiritual people I've ever met. So today it's been a pleasure, Edgar. We all love your music, and I'm sure everybody would like to say thank you to Edgar. If you want a piece of music making for yourself, then here's an open door to an open heart to a spiritual and loving guy. Edgar, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
You're most welcome. Take care, guys. Till tomorrow.